stuff. But yeah, what drew me to the project was, first of all, was being invited to participate in something that was, okay, I think I can lose the beach. First of all, we were drawn to Antony Gormley's artistic response to Crosby Beach, and then we have Chris's sound recordings near, or partly near Antony's sculptures. Again, an artistic response to Antony's artistic response. And what's interesting to me is that then mine is a further artistic response to Chris's interpretation. So by this time we have kind of many layers of artifice. And it's unusual for me as well, because before playing you get to hear the source material of all the sounds that you'll hear tonight coming from my part. And some of these sounds are things like Mike's buried in the beach and listening to waves from underneath, which are sounds that I've certainly never heard before, even though I've used tidephones. And some very special sounds in there. There's a sort of, I want to explain slightly about the technical issues about taking, like, for example, something that you might have just heard with the seagulls and the wind, which are extremely long files. When it comes to making music out of them, you end up looking for very tiny little moments from which to pick out and amplify. And one of the biggest ones being pitch, which is the hardest thing to, so whilst everything has pitch, like a wave crashing or something like that, to actually get a working pitch that you could use to play as an instrument is actually something quite tricky, so you end up picking out sounds very much in the distance. So for example, in the first part of what we'll be playing, the sound of a distant truck reversing over near the wind farm becomes something that I'm like, I can use that tone. Or in the second part is all made out of birds. So there's incredible richness when you slow down, but these birds, they're constantly moving, you know. It's not the artifice of human music, which is like a synthesizer or a tone which is perfect, and a perfect recreation like a can of Coca-Cola or a Starbucks coffee house or anything like that. It's constantly moving in a way that hopefully we've all appreciated after hearing Chris's. So a bird sound will be constantly or something like that. It won't be a simple oscillator, human sort of reconstruction. On top of that, to give me a bit of a chance of expanding on kind of maybe some of the emotional content of the music which you get from these little pitches will be provided by my good friend David Kuhn on guitar.